And good evening, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us today. And tonight is the big virtual Bachmann Thomas the Tank Engine night. We're Thomas and friends, Thomas all around. And we have two very, very special guests, and we'll introduce them now. Tony Cook from Model Railroad News. How you doing, Tony?
Cold. We've had record cold, and I know Doug in Philadelphia and you in New York aren't doing any better. I'm ready for spring, but yeah, it's great train weather though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That indeed, it is cold. And the guest of the hour, none other than Doug Blaine from Bachmann, and Doug is actually responsible pretty much for all your Thomas items.
Ken, on behalf of Bachmann, thanks for having us on the show, and glad to be here to join you.
Yep, thank you so much, Doug. And Doug's the big wig over at Bachmann, doing all great Thomas stuff, and really is, has some great product, and just the new catalog alone. I mean, Doug, you guys have been amping up Thomas the Tank stuff.
Absolutely. Just so you know, our new catalog will be in-house probably, I think it's safe to say next week, probably late next week. And I do have an advanced copy here, so I just will show it to you. This is I got to make sure I get the camera in here. I got to figure this out here. There we go. I'm going to call this 320 pages of goodness. There's all kinds of great stuff in here for you. Thomas, as well as our full line of NHO scale, O&30, and large scale products. So there's lots to choose from in here. And as I fan that, I get that new print smell, which is always a good smell to me. I don't know about everybody else. Tony, I know it's good for you too.
Oh, and I was surprised because you guys, I think, debuted this Amherst weekend, and usually it's Toy Fair. That I always start asking after the first of the year, when's the new catalog going to come out? And
Yes.
It's like, we're working on it. And yeah, here when we did that week of the virtual, Amherst stuff, Ken, suddenly I'm sitting here and they're like, and here's our new catalog. And it's like, what? The new catalog's out now? And I'm like rushed into the website. It's like, oh, open it and crash quiet, get it downloaded. But wow, yes, from the cover with that awesome Santa Fe dash. And that's a G scale locomotive. I can't wait to see that. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. The Bachmann catalog I look forward to. I'm a big collector every year. That's the Christmas wish book for me. For all year.
I don't want to get too far astray, but is it too soon to talk about that catalog you just showed me?
Oh, well, this is this is anytime I've got boxes because I do HO Collector quarterly for White River, and I'm a big collector, so I've got boxes and boxes of Bachmann. This was back when HO was new, and look at that, slot cars. And I'm working on an article for HO Collector on the non-train stuff. Some folks probably don't even remember that, these were the little mini plane lines. So hobby history is just such a fun thing. And I can sit and look through all these and think, I got that, I need this. Oh, I didn't know they made that. So yeah, awesome stuff. So anytime there's a new catalog, it's not hyperbole for me to say, "Ooh, I can't wait."
Well, we'll make sure you get a copy.
Yeah, and Doug and Tony, I will say that I'm not sure many people will remember that old catalog on tonight's episode. I mean, I'm looking at these comments, just a ton of people watching tonight. And just put it in the chat, everybody out there, where you're from. There are so many Thomas the Tank fans out there. And really, they're of all different ages because Thomas it really has been around a long time. And Bachmann has done a great job, handling it and promoting it with their electric line. So I think everybody tonight is really excited. Doug, I feel like we're trying to promote this more, and we actually have a new marketing guy, and I'll give him a shout out, Christian. He's actually a big Thomas fan, so we're trying our best to feed the beast, because Thomas is just getting bigger and bigger. What do you think about that, Doug?
Well, first of all, I'm going to reference the shout out to Christian as well. I traded some email with Christian just this last week, and sounds like a great guy. Nice interaction with him. And you're talking about the age or the of fans, and I don't think he's going to mind me sharing this, but he showed some pictures to me of a beautiful, beautiful layout that he did with his father, who is also a Thomas fan. So that was great to see a generational span with interest in Thomas. So yeah, as far as expanding the interest and keeping things going, we make Thomas in 3 different scales: N scale, HO, and large scale. And it is our goal always to keep things interesting with new product introductions and new characters, new paint schemes. We want to keep everyone as happy as we can with some great product.
That's great to hear. And Doug, with the snowstorm and all, both you and Tony made it out tonight, so we really appreciate it. And just to throw out some places where we're getting viewers from, the UK, Australia, Ireland. So people all over around the world are watching tonight to see what we have in store for Thomas the Tank. And Doug will not disappoint because Christian was excited.
Excellent.
And also later tonight, we will be doing a giveaway for this LBSC Thomas the Tank special edition that you actually just did. It's a new release. Just came out recently. And Christian actually just did a nice video on this on his layout. So this is the one he used, and we're going to be shipping it off later in the segment. But
that'll make somebody happy, I'm sure. That's wonderful.
Yes.
And I think I referenced it in the video that I know you're going to play later. But the Thomas LBSC stands for London, Brighton, and South Coast. And it's how Thomas arrived on the island of Sodor before it was painted blue. So it's a unique paint scheme, and it's just a great item to add to a collection.
Well, Doug, you actually just stole the question that we were going to ask.
Oh, well, sorry about that.
So maybe you could think of something off the cusp for Christian, if you're out there, if you could slack me a new question of what we should ask all the Thomas fans out there. But before we start talking and getting into this, Doug, you have been creating these great product videos for Thomas the Tank, and I actually want to share the most recent one that you actually announced some new product on. So everybody out there, I just wanted to re-highlight all the key scenes. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share that.
Please do.
All right. So give us 1 sec.
Welcome. I'm Doug Blaine from Bachmann Trains, Vice President of Marketing, and I'm happy to share an update with you on our Thomas & Friends product in 3 different scales. I'm going to start with what was new in 2020 and talk about some updates on progress for products you haven't seen yet, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with one of our new, this is N-scale train set, complete ready to run train set, train track, power pack, everything you need to get going. And this comes with a 24-inch circle of track, Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. So one thing about this set that you might want to know is that it comes with a 75th anniversary sticker, which is right down here. And that was to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Thomas & Friends in 2020. As we move forward through 2021, we will sell out of this set, and the sticker will not appear anymore after that. The sticker is on the outside of the cellophane, but if you want to have a sticker set, be sure to get one soon, because we will sell out of these sets, and they will be out of the marketplace I think rather quickly. So that's start to our N-scale collection. And I also wanted to run through some of the N-scale separate sale products that we have. Some of these are duplicate from what was in the set. And I'm going to start with the separate sale, Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. It's just good to see everything together. So these three are currently on the market, and I'm going to set them up on the table as we add some other pieces to the collection here as well. So there's Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. Next will be Percy and the Troublesome Trucks. They are currently in the market as well. So we'll get those out. And again, it's just nice to see everything together as a collection. There's Percy, Troublesome Truck number 1 and Troublesome Truck number 2. And additionally, for 2020, we had 3 tank cars. This was an oil tank, a fuel tank, and a water tank. So those, again, are available. And everything together is colorful and is a great way to start an N-scale collection. I also wanted to update you on James, which was also announced in 2020. James is coming along nicely. We've already seen our first test shot for James, so he will be available later in 2021. That's the start of our N-scale line in Thomas, and we will move on to HO. Similar to our N-scale sets, we also have 2 new HO sets with the 75th anniversary logo and sticker on the outside of the shrink wrap. So these are terrific starter sets. This one is Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. As an added feature of our HO scale locomotives, the eyes on Thomas move back and forth. So the eyes scan back and forth as it travels down the track. It's a great animation, fun to watch, and a feature that is included on all of our HO scale locomotives. So again, complete, ready to run, train, track, and power pack. This comes with a circle of Snap Fit Easy Track. And I'm going to show you another set we have. This is a deluxe set. And this comes with Thomas and the Troublesome Trucks that have ore loads. What's great about this set is that it has some unique features that is not available anywhere else except in this set. So specifically, there is a quarry tower and the Troublesome Trucks with unique ore loads. The only place you can get those, again, is the set, and I will show you those next. This is the quarry tower, which comes with a nice Sodor logo on it. And the quarry cars are the Troublesome versions, Troublesome Truck number 1 and Troublesome Truck number 2 with the specific ore load for this set. So only available in the Deluxe Thomas with the quarry cars, and I hope you will find the set to enjoy these special features. I also wanted to share 2 new versions of our James locomotive in HO scale. We, of course, have the original red James, and in 2020, we introduced Busy Bee James in a really striking black and yellow paint scheme. That is currently on the market. We also introduced in 2020 a Origin James. This was James before he was painted in his bright, shiny red paintwork. James arrived on the island of Sodor in the black paint scheme, and it's just a great variation to have on your layout for 3 different versions of James. Origin James in black, the Busy Bee James in yellow and black, and of course, the familiar shiny red paintwork. Also, we have another Origin locomotive in HO scale, and that is Thomas. We have Thomas in his original paint scheme before he came to the island of Sodor. This is Thomas LBSC 70. That's London and Brighton South Coast. And this is how Thomas came to the island of Sodor before he was painted in his familiar blue. So for your Thomas collection, an original blue, And the LBS C70 is a great addition as well. I also wanted to share some separate sale wagons in HO scale. We have 3 one-plank wagons. This one is a one-plank wagon with a crate, Brendan Bay Shipping Company. Another version with a different crate is the Brendan Cargo and Freight Company. And then we have a third, which is the Sodor Steamworks. So this is just great options for variety and making up your consist on your railroad, and add some different colors. And the crates are a new addition for your island of Sodor as well. And lastly, in HO scale, we have a new piece of rolling stock. This was not shipped in 2020. The one plank wagons were shipped in 2020. This is a new tank wagon that will be shipped in 2021. This is an African tanker, troublesome truck number 6. So that will be heading your way this year. And now for a big finish for our product review for new products in 2020 and 2021. I have our large scale diesel. We showed you an earlier version of this in some previous videos and online, but now we have a painted version that is almost ready for prime time. I'm not exactly sure what the delivery date will be in 2021, but it will be out this year. So this, like our HO scale models, also has moving eyes that scan back and forth as it travels down the track. And it's a nice, chunky, heavy duty, large scale, grumpy diesel locomotive. Coming your way, it can join our other large scale locomotives in the Thomas line. We have Thomas, Percy, Emily, James, and also Toby. And we have a Winston car that doesn't have any moving eyes, but also joins the other pieces of motive power in large scale Thomas. As an addendum for our HO scale products, I forgot to mention that our Daisy project is coming along very well. She is designed and will be coming out in 2021. But I also wanted to move on to some new product introductions that you haven't heard about yet in all our scales. So in HO scale, I don't have to show them to you because you know what they look like. It's Thomas and Percy. But what's new and different is that they will be coming to you as DCC equipped versions. We've had a lot of requests for DCC equipped Thomas, so we didn't want to disappoint. They will be heading your way. Both Thomas and Percy are under development in DCC. Also new as HO scale models are some friends for Toby. You of course know our Toby locomotive. We've had Toby for a long time, one of our original offerings in HO scale Thomas. And Toby does have a friend with Henrietta that has also been out for a while. But we have 2 new pieces of rolling stock to go along with Toby. There was a special episode where Toby pulled a museum coach. And it's just for something different, a new paint scheme. These coaches are based on our red coaches. Here is the Toby's museum coach, or a brake coach. And also available will be a regular museum coach. So this is the regular coach, and the brake coach has this extra bump out for observation in the back. Now, the original episode only had the brake coach, but we wanted to do them a pair like we do for the red coaches as a coach and the brake coach. And so these are just a nice, fun addition. And not only did Toby pull the brake coach, but Percy did as well in a special episode where he took Alicia Body to a party. So there's a good reason to add the brake coaches to your layout, and we hope you'll enjoy these. Also new in HO scale, and this is a big announcement here, is we have a totally new tooled locomotive coming your way in the name of Ryan. So we think you'll be pleased with that, and you can look forward to Ryan coming your way sometime soon in our Thomas and Friends line. And now I'm going to share some introductions in other scales. In N scale, we will have Toby coming your way, along with SC Ruffy. In narrow gauge, we had previously announced a narrow gauge brake van in red and blue. And to join the brake van, we will also have a new box fan, also in corresponding red and blue to go together. In HO narrow gauge, we have previously announced Peter Sam. He is under development, is taking some extra time. Sorry for the delay, but he will be making his way to you in 2021. And we are also announcing a new yellow version of Rheneas. And now to large scale, we have 3 new pieces of rolling stock. We have 3 wagons that will correspond with our HO scale versions. I'll just show you those for reference. This is HO, but will be available in large scale. A Sodor scrap wagon and a Sodor coal wagon with load and a mining wagon. So again, these are HO representations of what we will also have in large scale. And finally, in large scale, to join our large scale version of diesel, we have a large scale Paxton. So I've got one to show you. So that is indicative that we're pretty far along in this project. It's got a terrific paint scheme and a darker side rods compared to diesel. And this is just, I think, a really sharp looking locomotive. I'm going to bring diesel up here again to show you side by side. Of course, Paxton also has moving eyes. And here is diesel. And these, I think, will make a great pair on your large scale layout. So thank you very much for joining us for a review of all our products that are coming your way for Thomas and Friends.
All right. Well, that was action-packed, Doug.
Lots of good stuff in there, I think.
Yes. Really great stuff, exciting. And you guys do so many different scales.
You know what? In just reviewing that video, I thought that's a lot of new product for a year. I was kind of exhausted just thinking about all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like to keep them coming for everyone. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the comments tonight are out of control. The engagement, everybody is either on YouTube, Facebook, tweeting. Everybody's going Thomas crazy right now. So that's great to see, Doug. And we gotta thank you for making all this great Thomas product. I mean, everybody's going crazy right now. So I think.
Oh, it's our pleasure, Ken, and thank you for your support too at Train World. You guys do an awesome job in promotion, and we appreciate that partnership as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And you're actually wanted for a birthday shout out, Doug. If you could do a birthday shout out to Brady.
Brady, happy birthday from myself and everyone at Bachmann and all our Thomas fans too. There's a shout out.
That's great. We're gonna create all the Thomas the Tank fans are gonna create a Doug shrine and to make you create more Thomas product, Doug.
Well, we do as much as we can. We'll keep at it.
That's great. And shout out to your marketing guy Trevor, because he's excellent on Twitter and really engaged with the Thomas the Tank community. So a big shout out to Trevor as well.
Thank you much for that, and I definitely agree with that shout out. And I'm gonna have to do it. Sorry, Trevor, but you got to give Trevor a happy birthday shout out. How about you do that?
Happy birthday, Trevor.
I'm not going to say what day, but it was very recently.
Working late, working hard. All right. So, Doug, where do you want to go from here? Because I got your Bachmann catalog up on screen, or do you want to go off the cusp? I know you had some other stuff, so I'll leave it up to you in the direction you want to lead the show in.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do? I'll do one product, show one product. You can do the catalog, and then I'll come back and show the last product.
Very good. We'll keep them wanting more.
That's right. That's right. So with that, now neither one of these products that I'm going to show tonight are final. These are interim stages, but I did want to share them. This is we call it a gray model sample. I'm putting them together right now of James, N scale James. So I'm going to hold them up here. There we go. Whoops.
Ah.
So this is it's an early sample, an interim model, as I said. It's not complete, but there's his face. I don't know how well that's lighting up. It's my lighting in this in quotes home studio is not that great. I'm going to turn him around here.
Now you haven't announced this yet, correct?
No, we did. I just haven't
shown
it yet.
Okay. Wow. Very cool.
So this, we actually have one model past this, one stage. It's called a test shot. But I had to send that back to the factory for the reference to use. So I only had this gray model sample, but I thought it was worth showing. The side rods those are not final. And there's other little things that we're going to fix up and modify, but worth showing just to show progress, I think.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that with your Thomas fans here on the show.
That's great. And Tony, you actually are working on an article for some of the N scale stuff, because this is brand new stuff, Doug, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, N scale's all new for Thomas. In fact, that's going to be the red engine, right, Doug?
Correct.
James will be red, and then you're also working on Toby the Tram will be the fourth N scale locomotive for the Thomas line. That right now Thomas and I think Percy are available. And that's I'm not working on it, but I've got a reviewer that is working on it over in the St. Louis area. And let me see if I can I share my screen here?
Sure.
With you?
And you got some Thomas the Tank fans too, Tony. No?
Oh, we do. You know, everybody does. This is the Model Railroad News website, and this is the early samples. This is the diorama that Justin Sobeck and his son Jax built for the N-scale models. They're doing the release. This was the first look we put up back, I think in November, wasn't it, Doug, when the N-scale shipped? They've been out a couple of months, some of the first of the N-scale.
That's about right, yes.
And they set these up, and here they are. I wanted to share. This was they rode the Texas Eagle when this old El Capitan parlor car came through about the same time they got those Thomas samples, and that's Justin and his son Jax. And they're the ones doing the reviews. So if you want authentic reviews from the real hands-on Thomas fan, that little kid is doing the reviews for Model Railroad News with his dad of these Thomas items. And they are amazing. The N-scale, it's such a neat, Doug, when we see these, you're used to whether it's wooden toys or other sizes, you see Thomas stuff, and it's always a lot bigger. And the first time I did the photography and sent the samples over to him, it's amazing to see the replicas in the 1/160th, an N scale. So, I mean, for collectors, anybody into Thomas, this is such a neat thing because it's so little. And the fun thing too about the things you guys do with the Thomas line is working it in so dads and grandpas can also share it, with its regular N scale, its regular HO, because that's one of the questions I get a lot is, okay, I know Bachmann makes this, but will it work with our regular? It's like, oh yeah, it'll work on club layouts. It works on home layouts. And actually now you've added DCC. So again, I think that's an important thing that a lot of people see it as toys, and they are. I mean, even our trains are toys. I'll say that and see how many mean emails I get. But okay, they are toys. But yeah, that they will work with your regular, whether it's the Garden Railroad stuff, they can take them outside and run them, or a regular HO or N-scale layout. All these are applicable to that. And I think that's so great because it gives that, it puts it together where you bring the kids in and they can run something on a big layout.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, just showing those pictures that you did, seeing a father and son together, enjoying a rail fan experience, building a railroad together or a train layout together. And if if Bachmann can help do that, or Thomas can help do that, just what a wonderful thing to be able to share that experience intergenerationally, and fun together for a father and son. How wonderful!
It is. It's awesome. And now the DCC is going to be in HO first. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I don't mean to take over here, Ken, but
No,
the
that's
magazine
okay.
guy and me, I got these questions, and here I can, bug Doug, and he.
All good.
So tell us a little bit about, because I know the digital command control, or DCC, which is a real industry standard for people maybe that are more novices in model railroading. Whenever you hear about operating things with a decoder in them, that's the DCC stuff. So tell us, this is a first for Thomas in HO that will have DCC factory equipped locomotives.
Yeah, it is. We are starting with Thomas and Percy. We're going to have to retrofit tooling to fit the DCC in. So there's some work to be done there, and developing the decoders will take some time. So it's not going to be a fast project. I'm going to have to ask for some patience. And you mentioned that it's HO scale. We did look at trying to do it in N scale, but right now the N scale locomotives are just too small to fit the decoders in. Thomas and Percy are, they just don't have the volume necessary to handle the electronics. So so we're starting with HO scale, and all of our Bachmann decoders, just so people know, are dual mode. So you can run them on a DCC layout, and you can also run them on a standard analog layout interchangeably. You don't have to worry about your operating system. So if you do have an analog system, the sound functions would still operate depending on speed and startup and slow down, those types of things. So we're looking forward to bringing DCC to the Thomas world, and people have been asking us for it for a while. So we're glad to get it going.
I'm already getting asked on the N scale. I mean, I don't think the N scale was out a week before I had 2 or 3 emails of, what decoder, and can you tell me, can I make that DCC? Like, I don't know yet. My one reviewer's working. If you figured out, let me know, because and then I just kept getting. I had a grandmother that bought and set the stuff up for a kid, and that was one thing they wanted too. So it's amazing how, don't you think, Ken, the adoption of DCC? I know we talked about this in that late January show when we had a lot of the makers of those things on, but it at one time was more of a niche thing for kind of the real high-end serious guys, but now everybody wants that ability, and Bachmann with the easy DCC system help pave that way of, oh, it's so hard, it's so no, it's not, and they've got this, and it's easy to do.
Yeah, it makes adds another element to trains, which is part of the fun part. Growing from a basic, just a loop around the carpet, to a layout, and then to DCC, to sound, and so it just evolves, and it evolves from Thomas the Tank to real model trains, or more road name specific model trains, which Bachmann carries everything for your needs. So Bachmann's a real one-stop shop, and a great partner that we work with. So just really great stuff. And that N scale, James, I'm looking at my website and I don't even see it on. So we got to get that up and loaded. So hopefully, maybe the price wasn't ready yet. So hopefully, I'm sure between one of our guys, Mark in the Brooklyn store, I'll give you a shout out, Mark, and Christian. They'll probably shake me down tomorrow to make sure we get it up.
I don't want to disappoint you here, Ken, but we don't have an N scale image. We just have an HO representational image that we would share now.
That's fine, but just to take the pre-orders, I'm not sure if you got a price set or anything, but we'll try to get that up tomorrow, and I'll have my guys remind us. But that looks awesome, really exciting stuff, and you got a lot more stuff, Doug, and I'm just going to share my screen again because we'll kind of look at your catalog, and I'm not sure if you could see that, Doug.
Yes.
Okay. And so you got some starter sets, which is a perfect place to start with.
Absolutely. So yeah, these were referenced in the earlier video. And as you said, all of our sets, a great place to start. They're complete, ready to run. They come with the train, track, either a circle or oval, depending on the set, and a power pack. They're easy to set up. You know, probably, I'm sure most of the people watching this broadcast are already modelers.
Yeah.
But if you want to share that with somebody else and give a train set as a gift, and you want other people to enjoy Thomas and Friends, it's a great way to go. So you're flipping through to the our Christmas set,
Yep.
which is great. It's really nice. It has a snowplow on the front and a friendly Santa hat on Thomas.
Very cool.
A wagon with presents and the festively decorated brake van there. Also, this shows the upcoming locomotives with DCC for Thomas and Percy, and our selection of Thomas. We do have an analog sound version for Thomas, along with the LBSC that we just talked about, and Percy there.
That's great. Very cool.
Lots of great locomotives on those pages, that's for sure.
Yep.
Of note, we have a Rosie there. I think on the next page we have two versions. We have one in that purplish tone and one in a red tone. So there's two versions of that. So this is showing the new products that.
Yeah, and Busy Bee James was a huge seller, and the original James as well. So just a lot of different choices. And for all you Thomas the Tank fans out there, look at all these different engines. I mean, you're not going to get another manufacturer making all these Thomas the Tank products.
It is great to see them together, and for people who do collect the line, I mean, when you see these all together in person, it's kind of awesome, quite frankly.
Yeah, just tremendous. And here are the Toby's brake museums that you mentioned, and the two new announcements.
Yep, Ryan and Daisy. So Ryan, as I said in the video, is all new tooling, of course, and that will be out late this year. It might push into 2022. It's just difficult to say right now, but it's under development. So, and we're making good progress with Ryan.
Very cool. And mind you, this is all HO scale. I mean, tremendous.
Absolutely. So yeah, the new cars are on the bottom right there.
Yep.
The one plaque wagons with the crates, and the African tanker, which is troublesome truck number 6, and just a great variety. You know, there's brake vans and there's box vans. There's a salt wagon, mail cars. Henrietta's there as well. Tankers. It's just a great variety that people can use their imaginations when they create their Island of Sodor Railroad, and relive some of the stories that they may have seen or create their own. It just has there's so many options on how to experience the world of Sodor that you build for yourself. It's just great fun.
Yeah, and Doug, you know, the Thomas the Tank fan or Thomas and Friends fan out there, they have a lot of choices between different, I guess, styles and brands, what to purchase. But Bachmann does a great job offering so many different products. And I know like the wooden trains, certain people collect, but they've become so limited and not accessible. But looking at this lineup, I mean, it's just so many things going on. It's great.
Absolutely. So the next page that you flipped over there, that is the start of that's our narrow gauge selection, HO narrow gauge. So that's HO, but it runs on N scale track because it is narrow gauge, commonly referred to as 009. And this line we started just a couple of years ago, and it's really done well for us. And our first locomotives were appreciated not only by Thomas fans, but also narrow gauge, serious narrow gauge railroaders for their fidelity to detail. And we did some mixing, if you will, of Thomas features and real world features on some of the locomotives, particularly Scarloi and Rheneas. And that has been, it's been appreciated by modelers, and that's been fun to see. Of particular, one of my favorites is I just love, it sounds goofy, I love the sleigh wagons. They just, they're these tiny little cars, tiny little wagons, but I think they just represent so much of what the narrow gauge railroad is all about in the real world and also in Thomas's world. So some of the new product introductions that we have on there are the box fans and brake vans. So those are under development, and they're based on mostly the CGI references from the series. And I think people are going to like those when they come out. Yeah,
and Doug, I think part of the reason the narrow gauge line has really taken off too is because kids, and young adults, they may not have the room as a 60-year-old man with the whole basement. So they got their room, and I think people are just collecting them and putting them on the shelves because they're really beautifully detailed, and they're like Thomas minis. They're just small, detailed. You can run them if you have a little layout or put it on a desk. Put those school books to the side for a second, then set up the track, and it's really neat.
And another point, speaking to maybe running out of room, if you will, for HO scale or whatever scale you may have, the HO scale and narrow gauge do run side by side. So the narrow gauge gives you a reason to add the narrow gauge, the smaller track. You can find a way to fit that on an existing HO layout and do an interchange from the quarry line to the main line. And it gives more modeling opportunities with the narrow gauge. So I think people have found a way to use it as well.
Yeah. That's such a fun concept, as Doug mentioned, that, in prototype, railroading, whether it's Colorado or whatever, you have that interaction of the narrow gauge might bring something from a mine or areas standard gauge doesn't get to. So what a whole fun extra dimension to this Thomas line of, well, if you've got an HO set up, to bring in a narrow gauge operation that would serve or work with your regular HO. It's a cool idea. I mean, it is such a neat. I would love to see Bachmann do other narrow gauge like this to go with your HO line of, even outside of Thomas, because that's a neat idea.
Yeah, and we all know Tony's running out of room.
Tony, you're gonna give us another scale to do?
Well, I do collect the O in 30, and it works with O, but this would be kind of fun. It's easy to talk me into this stuff, though. Ken knows he can just look at my account and go, "Oh yeah, he'll buy that too."
Yeah. We appreciate the thought, though. No, thank you, seriously.
All right. And a lot of accessories, add-ons, right, Doug?
Yep. Most of these are original accessories that we've had in line for many years. They just, they help to add realism and interest to a layout beyond, the track and trains, obviously, but scenery elements and extra characters, and it's just a way to make things more complete in terms of visuals for the island of Sodor.
That's great.
And they work for regular, that switch tower there. In fact, I think it might have been in the regular line. I had that on my 4x8 test layout for forever. And I've had people ask me about the lighthouse and other things. Again, if you're a regular railroader, same as the narrow gauge items you mentioned, if you're a kit basher or craftsman or looking for things, this is a real think outside of the box on some of these items of, hey, I could use that drive mechanism to make a narrow gauge something else. So I may not be a Thomas person, but let me look at that I normally I wouldn't, and again, I see that where people say, hey, I'm using this to build this or that. And that switch tower, these resin models are beautiful. They come fully assembled. They're painted. They've got the window material in them. And that switch tower is really nice. It's got a town sign, as I recall, that can go on it. But these have application beyond HO, Thomas. You could, use a lot of these things on any railroad.
Just to be clear, I appreciate your thought, and thank you for that. That switch tower, though, that is a plastic model. I think the one you have is a resin one. That isn't our resin line or standard line, but your point is well taken. Like I've seen things used in other scales, even at the HO scale lighthouse. I've seen that buried like to the step line in some N scale layouts. Like the steps are HO scale, but if you bury that part, how big is a lighthouse? I've seen it on N scale layouts. So, or forced perspectives for even O gauge, if you put it far in the distance, you like you said, you can find creative uses for a lot of these items.
Yep, a lot of good stuff. And actually, Christian was buying the water tower the other day, and I said that it could go on any layout. It doesn't have to be Thomas the Tank. It's just beautiful, really nice. And
that's great to find other uses like that. I love to hear it.
Yep. And you also got the G scale stuff too, Doug.
Absolutely. So what we're looking at here, we did have Thomas with DCC Sound in large scale. We're out of stock for him right now, but we still do have Percy with DCC Sound. And just so people know, the sound decoder in there, it has selectable sounds by CV. You can select sounds for Thomas, Percy, James, Emily, I think Gordon, Edward, even though we don't have all these locomotives, but Percy, and I'm sorry, Toby, and I think there's 8 different locomotives. So it gives you options if you wanted to use the separate sail board, which is shown on the bottom of the page there, and could install that in other locomotives that we do have. You'd have to install your own speaker, but you could, using the same decoder, enjoy unique sounds for the locomotive that you've installed it in. So each locomotive that we have has appropriate sounds represented by that decoder. So that just gives you some options. If you have to be, really ambitious and handy to do that, but it is certainly possible.
Very nice. And going over that crossover, a lot of people buy the Emily's coach and Emily's brake coach because we find a lot of G scalers just love the look and design. I mean, they look beautiful. So whether you're into Thomas the Tank or not, it's just really nice stuff.
That's good to know. I hadn't heard that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, I mean, I think for a garden railroad in particular, if it's outside, some of these cars are just the colors of them are kind of nice outside. They're bright. They pop in the garden, and I think that's why some people buy them as well.
Very nice. And there's Paxton, which is going to be new, and Diesel. So really cool options over there. I think a lot of G scalers are going to be interested in that.
We hope so. I think so as well. I think so as well. They've gotten some great interest.
That's great. And you even got more. A lot of freight cars, rolling stock, a lot of good stuff.
Yep. And I know, like on this page, I hate to tip my hand here at some point. I can't even say. I won't say it. Shouldn't have done that. Sorry.
All right, guys.
Ken, this is one of the funnest things about when we do these is we'll get these manufacturers to tell us stuff they wouldn't normally. Like we get them on the spot here and they're like, oh, wait a minute, I can't say that, or I shouldn't say that. You already have. Like, go ahead and finish. What were you saying?
To Tony, you gave me cover there, and then you took it away.
I think everybody out there needs to twist Dave's arm. Comment and make sure you tell Dave to let us spill the secret.
We'll just have to save that one. Sorry, folks.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Very cool. But you do have these the new wagons coming out as well in G scale, so that should be interesting stuff.
Yep. So that's what we showed earlier in with the HO representations.
That's great. And Doug, we're gonna have to do this more often because the response tonight, people just so excited. The comments, the engagement, the amount of viewers, it's really great, Doug and Tony. And we got to promote Thomas and do these kind of events more often.
I'll be happy to join you again, and it's most appreciated. But before we go, would you like to see that other product?
Yes, without a doubt. Don't worry, I wasn't hanging up too quick because everybody out there would hunt me down.
I thought you were giving me the hook already.
No. All right, we'll zoom you in big, and Tony, if you want to do the drum roll.
All right. Well, I think it's sort of expected by your viewers here, and I don't want to disappoint. I am going to disappoint a little bit because it's, as I said earlier, it's not a finished model. It's only a test shot, and I'm not going to reveal the face because that's not quite ready for prime time. But I do have a test shot of Daisy here.
Wow.
Oh.
So here she is. I'm going to try and get some light on it so you can see some of the raised details on there for the windows and door details. She's got some nice truck work there on the bogies. I see some comments. I see some positive comments there.
They could just see the face.
The face is, well, it's right there. I tell you.
They're imagining it because they want it so bad, Doug.
I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
There's our roof line there. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting this lined up right for the camera.
Well, I know you made a lot of people happy. Did you? Because Ken, early on, I saw people saying, if he shows Daisy on this show, I'm going to go crazy. So there you go.
There we go. Well,
That's
sorry,
awesome.
I'm not doing very well with the lighting here, but anyway, just
beautiful.
So that proves she's on the way. And,
wow.
We're making good progress. The next sample you see will be fully painted with the face, and of course, Daisy has moving eyes as well.
Wow.
So we'll get her the next rendition out for viewing as soon as we can. So
now what you're saying, the next phase is getting like a painted sample.
Yeah.
Do they do that overseas and then ship it to you, or do you request it, or do you actually paint something as a mock-up here? How do you do that?
all the painted samples come from the factory.
Gotcha.
So because we can't paint it ourselves, we need to know what it's going to look like from the factory, so that if there's any changes or modifications,
right,
it has to be right coming from them.
That's great. And we're taking pre-orders on Emily, I believe, as we speak. So if you go to trainworld.com, all your Bachmann, Thomas and Friend item, we are taking pre-orders. And Doug, do you have a timeline when you're going to show a pre-production on this?
For showing a pre-production, I would imagine. Oh, I hate to say it in case something goes awry in terms of scheduling, but certainly within 2 months, I would expect a painted sample, I think.
That's great. So Daisy is up online as well as Ryan. So I think, Doug, we got to schedule something out for when you get some paint samples in of, I guess, Daisy and Ryan and some of the new items. a couple of months down the road. And I think does everybody out there want to see the pre-production samples? Please let us know in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let us know, and we'll grab Doug and Tony back on here and show you the samples.
I'll be happy to join you again.
That's great.
Pleasure.
Awesome, and thank you so much, Doug, and for showing that. And it's always interesting to see what it's kind of the progress. And now I think everybody, typing in on the chat, seeing the pre-production, just a blank sample, they feel it's real, it's coming out.
That's right. It shows progress, and it is real. It's important. So we're hoping to have it as soon as we can here.
That's great. And before we tune out, I'll also give Tony a chance to talk. So Tony, do you want to go first before I do the giveaway, or?
Oh, just check our Facebook page. We always keep news and updates, and you can go to modelrailroadnews.com. And as I say, I post news stuff almost daily and always keep up with new announcements.
When will the article on the Bachmann N-scale Thomas the Tank items come out?
I'm laying out the May issue right now, which is going to have the Amtrak Charger, which, as you know, Ken, is the hottest diesel out there right now. That I've got the Cascades and the Midwest are the cover, and a big chunk of the magazine will be that'll be the May issue. And then Justin and Jax's the unveiling of the N-scale stuff will all be reviewed in May's Model Railroad News.
That's great to hear. And if any Thomas the Tank fan out there is looking to cross over into some real model trains, the Bachmann Charger is dynamite. By far one of the best locomotives out there. Has all the bells and whistles that you could ever imagine.
Literally.
But good luck finding them. We may have some stragglers in our warehouse, but not many. It was just unbelievable, Doug. The amount of people just buying this engine, tremendous.
Well, you can if you run out, or don't be afraid to take pre-orders, because we do have more coming. So
and there's 2 new road names too that were just announced that I think are in the new catalog. I think I have those. Yep. If you go into our news tab at modelrailroadnews.com, the 2 new commuter road names, I've got illustrations of both those that Trevor sent to me, so you can see those online.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So you got something to give away, Ken? Are you going to give this to me? Did I win?
Yeah. No, Tony, you can't win this, but it's the LBSC Thomas the Tank engine and HO scale, and this is the one actually Thomas. I'm thinking Thomas Trevor Christian used on his layout, and it's over here, and we're gonna. Christian texted me over a question because Doug so kindly spilled the beans on that. And unless, Doug, do you have a question in mind that you want to ask? And we'll randomly. Yeah.
I don't.
If not, I'll ask what Christian sent me. And then based on whoever answers, I'll just pick someone. Yep. How do we enter? So I'm going to ask this question. And if you guys could type in the chat right now, live, the answer, I will pick someone. Hopefully we get the answer, and I guess they'll direct message me or something. We've never done this before, so we're giving it a shot, Doug. Okay. What episode and season did the Busy Bee James appear in? So I'm going to give it some time. Some people are thinking.
Oh, people are going to know this.
Yeah.
I have confidence in the Thomas fans. They're going to know this.
All right. We see a couple of people. we got it. So let me try to get one here. A lot of people getting this. Christian said it was too easy, Doug, and you were right.
Yeah, that's discussed on our forum on BachmannTrains.com. There's, we have a Thomas forum, and I know that was discussed. That issue was discussed on the forum.
It's so hard to pick because the answers are coming in so quick that I'm trying to click on the correct one. All right. And also, before I do pick, we got to make sure that Christian is right. So, Christian, if you're wrong on this, everybody's going to know. And we're going to go with the Engine Shed, green controller, and season 10, series 10. So the Engine Shed, you did win. If you could please, I guess, message us on Facebook, your name, address, phone number, so we could reach out to you, or you could send us a message at marketing@trainworld.com. Either way, and only the real Engine Shed email us, which now that I'm thinking about it, we may get some fraud. So Engine Shed, if you could just quickly type in I don't know, maybe Facebook, if you could send us this way, we can verify it.
Message Facebook, then you know it's them. Yeah.
That's great. All right. And if it doesn't work out, unfortunately, that may have to be the last time. So only the real Engine Shed, please message us. But this was great. This was great. Doug, Tony, I mean, the comments, the engagement, just huge.
Terrific. And this is, for the three of us, and with apologies to everyone else here, I miss seeing you guys at shows. And I look forward to the day when we can see each other in person again. So hopefully that'll happen soon. So, but thank you for inviting for me, Tony. It's a pleasure spending time with you here during this show. And I'm glad that hopefully everyone who watched had an enjoyable time. And I appreciate your invitation. And it was just a great event.
Really neat. Now, Doug, the print version of the catalog will be out soon. But if the catalog that Ken was flipping through, you can go to Bachmann's website, right?
Yeah, BachmannTrains.com. If you go under, there's a tab for, I think it says catalogs and brochures. You can download a PDF version. And you're right, the catalog will be, I think it should be in-house late next week. And if you want a hard copy, you can order it online as well, or send in a check there if you have an order form. But so we're ready to go for 2021.
Yeah, Doug will. It's like the phone book of trains.
Yeah.
It's only 320 pages.
Only. Yeah.
Half of it's Thomas.
I would like to think so.
That's great. Well, Doug, Tony, tremendous night. You could get all your Thomas the Tank, Thomas and Friends product, Bachmann, at trainworld.com. Shop online 24/7. Doug and Tony, it has been a blast. And thank you guys so much for taking the time out. Everybody joining us tonight, we truly, sincerely appreciate the kind feedback, engagement, because after tonight, I think all three of us are going to relook at things and just try to amp up some more Thomas. So thank you for being such gracious guests. So we appreciate it. And good night, everybody.
Thanks, Ken. Everybody have a good night.